Alright everyone, today we're going to take a deep look at creating racing positioning system and the lab system. Now this is going to be a two-part mini series where in the first video we're going to learn how to create the systems, and on the second video we're going to learn how to visualize them. And before I start the video, why am I not uploading more Unity tutorials? Well, I lost motivation, that's why. And then why am I not posting any gaming videos? Well, reason being, my last monitor that I had, the old one, that broke down, and I got a new monitor now. It has very high resolution, and I am unable to, let's say, record HD videos with this monitor, so I'm not posting any gaming videos at all. As you can see, this monitor actually giving me some issues with my icons as well. As you can see, these icons are here, these icons are here. Well, they are they're supposed to be here and here. Anyway, let's actually get started with the video, shall we? And I think I like these icons here. Okay, now before I actually go ahead and implement the code, we should actually plan things better. So let's actually get into planning. All right, let's actually start planning things with the Microsoft Paint that we have. Okay, now on here, let's think this is our racetrack. Okay, racetrack Baba, come here. And this is our racetrack's border. There you go. Now after the racetrack we need some cars, okay? Now think as if these are our little cars with cars here. Okay, I'm going to have 4 cars. Okay. Okay, these are our 4 cars. Now the race is going to start from a position and end from a position as well. Now think as if this is the starting position and ending position, and the race is going to be, let's say, like this. It's going to start from here, and then it's going to round in like this, and then end over here. Now in this manner, if I have a position detection script on here, then this that position detection script should actually, let's say, grab the position of these cars and make them first, second, third, and fourth, right? But there is a problem on here. Now think as if a car is over here, one of the cars, think as if this car raced in here, and one of these cars actually came in here. Now in this manner, no, not here, let's say came in here. Now in this manner, this car is ahead of this one, but for this, if I calculate this from this checkpoint, this car is ahead of this one. It's because it's closer from it's closer from this one's perspective, because it's, let's say, it's calculating just this point on here, and for this car it's more farther because it's calculating a longer position on here. And that's the reason we will need, let's say, difficult. Now that's the reason you are having a little bit of difficulty to code a race position system. Now how to actually solve this issue, right? Now to solve this issue, I'm going to introduce you to checkpoints. Now most of the popular game has checkpoints. If they does not has checkpoint, then they has invisible checkpoints that actually determines your car's position. Now think as if a checkpoint is going to come here, one here, one here, and one. Okay, we don't need one here. Now this position, or let's say these checkpoints, are going to calculate the position of these cars instead of this one position, let's say one starting position. And that's going to give you very accurate positions, because it's, let's say, if one car is, okay, let's say if one car is here and one car is here, then this one is first and this one is second for this checkpoint, and this checkpoint is going to visualize this to your display or something, and it's going to be accurate. Okay, now if nothing of this makes sense, then just go to the coding part, see how the code works, or else just copy and paste the script, and make it work with your project. Okay, and the script will work with any of your project, because we're going to have no, let's say, changes to our vehicle controllers. We're going to just take the position of our vehicle controllers. Okay, now that's actually the theory, the plan. That's how it's going to work. And let's actually get into coding now. Okay. Okay, we're back in Unity Editor, and as described on our, let's say, little picture that I made, we should actually start creating checkpoints for our racing track. Now, my racing track actually starts, my race actually starts from here, and it goes around from here, and ends here. Now I actually have already prepared checkpoints, but I'm going to create them again so that you can understand how things works. Now, to be honest, just 3 checkpoints is going to be fine for this game of mine, or let's say this track of mine. So I'm going to disable these cars of mine because I don't need them. Because they're going to be very disturbing when I race. Okay, so car container, go boom. Okay, now let's create a checkpoint on here. And now a checkpoint can be any cube, or let's say any 3D object with a collider on it. Now for me the cube works better because it's cube, okay? It has 4 squares, it's nice, and it's white. Okay, let's position the cube here. Okay. Now let's actually scale the cube, okay? Okay, I think this is good enough. Now this is going to be our checkpoint 1, okay? Let's make it checkpoint. Let's just name it checkpoint, because if when we duplicate it, Unity is going to give it name. Now, what about the next checkpoint? The next checkpoint might be where? 9J here, and the other one might be there, but I'm not going to, let's say, give them the checkpoints now. We're going to give him the checkpoints in a while, because I'm going to attach a checkpoint script on it. When we duplicate it, we're going to have the scripts duplicated and the attributes attached to it. It's going to be faster that way. Now, if I actually look at my scripts, I already have a checkpoint script that actually works. Now I'm going to create another checkpoint script for you guys to explain the things. Okay, now I'm going to name it checkpoint system, and then I'm going to attach it on my checkpoint. There you go, checkpoint system. Now the checkpoint system is going to have few things. First of all, let's just remove these 2 comments. We don't need them. We don't need comments. Okay, I am the commentator on here who is speaking like shit, so we don't need comments. Okay, the first thing that our checkpoint system needs is our car's position. So we're going to create some public transform, and we're going to name them car01. Now car01 is going to be the first car's position, or let's say first car's transform, and then I'm going to take another one, and it's going to be car02, and we're going to have another one, and it's going to be car03, and lastly it's going to be car04. Now if I save this thing and then come back on Unity, I'm going to have let's say something where I can put these 4 cars. And where are these 4 cars? These 4 cars are here. Okay, now this is my player's car, and these are Unity's AI that comes for free with the standard assets of Unity. Now the first car is going to be my player, and then the second car is going to be this car02 I have made, the car03 is car03, and the car04 is going to be car04. Now they are actually positioned accordingly, but they does not have to be positioned accordingly. You can just name them anything and assign them here. Anyway, now since I have these cars positions, I should actually start calculating the let's say how far these cars are from this let's say checkpoint. Now for to do that, I need to do some coding. Okay, now actually I'm going to store those variable, or let's say store those values in a script as let's say in a public float variable as well, or let's say just public float. It's a variable, but it's in a float. Okay, in a float. So now let's create those floats. Shall we? Now that's going to be a public float car01 dist. Now this dist means how far it is from the checkpoint, from the active checkpoint. Now the next one is going to be car02 dist, means how far I am from the checkpoint, how from these cars are from the checkpoints. Okay, now if I actually have this and come back over here, then you will see that this things actually looks messy. Now that's where I'm going to introduce you to excuse me, headers. Now header should be something uh, like this, and here header, and the header should have names. I'm going to give it cars. Okay, it should be something like this. Yep. Now this is going to be cars, and I'm going to copy this header. I'm going to paste it in here, and this is going to be distances. Now if I actually compile it and then wait for it, there you go. We have cars, we have distances. Pretty cool. And I don't know why the frick it didn't take car 03 and car 04. Anyway, now let's actually start calculating things, right? Now if I come on here and then on our update, if I say car 01 dist equals to vector 3 dot distance from this transform that position, means from this checkpoint to our car 01's position. Now this is our let's say this is the car 01's destination from our checkpoint. Now I'm going to duplicate it 3 times and I'm going to change the number on here. Now this is how far the car 2 is. This is going to be 3 and this is going to be 4, and same here, 3 and 4. Okay, now if I come back and then let's dog the game view over here because I want to see what's happening on the scene. Now if I start the game, you will have the distance of the cars on here. As you can see, the car 01 is 183 and he is 4, and all the cars have their distances from the checkpoint viewed on here. Now in this manner, the less number these cars have on their distances is the car on let's say on first place. Now if car 01 has 5, car 02 has 10, means car 01 is first and car 02 is second. Okay, now actually we have distances. Now how to actually let's say calculate which car is fast and which car is behind which car, and which car is first, which car is second, and which car is third. Now it's actually a little bit tricky, but it's quite easy. Now to let's say decide the first and second car, we're going to introduce you to, let's say, mathf. Yeah, something like that. Now to do that, we're going to actually have another system added to here, and then it's going to be using Unity engine dot systems, or let's say Unity using systems, maybe. Yep, just systems. Let's actually double check. Yep, it's just a system, and here are the things that I'm going to add here. Now there's a, let's say, thing called mathf, which actually is going to determine our first and our fourth position of our car. Now this is actually quite simple. If you look at here, now our first car is going to store all the cars, let's say our mathf is going to store all this position of our cars. As you can see, it's having car 01's position, 2's position, 3's position, and 4th position, and it's going to detect the minimum value. Now the most minimum value is first, and the maximum value is fourth, and that's why it's named fourth on here and first on here. Now let's actually copy this, or let's actually go in our own script and create some variables and make them let's say work. Now I'm going to create another header, and I'm going to call it placement. Yep, placement should be okay. And why you are giving me error? Okay, because I don't have any things on here. Now on the placements are going to be public int maybe. Nope, they're going to be float. I forgot my own script. Okay, the placements are going to be public floats, and the first place is going to be first. The second position is going, and the last placement is going to be fourth, something like this. Okay, now let's actually decide which is first and which is fourth. Now to decide which is first, we are going to, let's say, fourth equals to mathf mathf dot minimum. Excuse me, I am having a bad day on here. I'm coughing too much. Okay, sorry. Now on here, I'm going to just give him the car's destination, car 01 dest, car 02 dest, and then the car 03 dest. No, car 03 dest, and the car 04 dest. Now this is actually, let's say, holding these variables and then deciding which has the minimum value, and the one that has minimum value is going to be not fourth, it's going to be first. I'm sorry, next. Okay, now let's decide which is going to be fourth. Okay, let's just copy this, paste this, and then put fourth on here. And then instead of minimum, let's just put max on here. And the maximum value that the card will have is going to be the fourth card. Now, how to see which card is first, which card is fourth? Because we have this public floors on here, we can see them on the inspector when we hit play. Excuse me. Okay, now if I hit play, as you can see, the first has 118, and on here, okay, we can actually grab the fourth position. My car is standing over here, so it's fourth, and it's the car 01. As you can see, car 01's destination, and the first car is 2, and the car 03 destination is 2. It does mean that car 03 is first, and the car and my car, the car 01, is fourth. And this way we have the fourth car and the, let's say, first car. Now we have to determine the other two cars values. Now let's actually go in paint again. Okay, now we have the fourth position and the first position on here. Now we need the second position and the third position. Now we can actually make a simple if-else statement where if any car's destination value is less than 4 and greater than 1, it's going to be second. But in this way, there's going to be error because the third position is also, let's say third position also going to be determine this law. Like if I put a 3 in here, if the 3 is the third position is also less than 4 and greater than 1. But we're going to solve this problem by making Unity pick just one of this position at as the second car, or let's say we're going to make Unity decide any of these two as the second or the third position. Okay, now let's actually go back to Unity again and start implementing it. Okay, now back again on Unity, we're going to actually, let's say, give those if-else, we're going to implement those if-else statement. Now, if I say if car 01's distance is less than the fourth position and the car 01's destination or the distance is greater than first, then let's say let's print car 01. Okay, it's going to be a string, so I'll have to give them this colons, semicolons, I don't know what they are. Okay, so here I'm going to say car 01 is second. Now it's going to pop up in our console. Now I'm going to give I'm going to copy this line and I'm going to paste it 3 more times, and I'm going to change the numbers on here. I'm going to give it 2, and I'm going to give it 2 here. I'm going to give the 2 on here as well. This is just to make things more understandable. And by the way, the script is on the description, so just pick it up if you do not want to understand how this thing works, okay? So I'm going to give it 4, 4. And if you actually try and understand how these things works, then you can actually make it more customizable for you, and you can more than just use it in one game of yours. You can implement it to your other games and stuff, you know. Now this is going to determine the which car is second, right? Now if I actually go ahead and hit play, you will see that it is taking the both car 02 and car 04 as second. As you can see, these numbers are increasing a bit clearer than you can see clearly. Now it's because both of them are actually let's say taking the values in, because they are both goes with that if else statement we have. Now we're going to make Unity pick just one of them as a second card, and we're going to do that by, let's say, putting just one float value which is going to decide which card is second. Now we don't need this print values on here anymore, because he's going to always give 2 cards as its, let's say, second positions. Okay, now, okay, I wanted to hit Control S. Now on here we're going to make just one of this car the second. Now on here I'm just going to type in, so if these things are met, the second car is going to be car 01 distance, and I'm going to copy it, I'm going to paste it on here, and it's going to be the car 02. And lastly it's going to be car 03, no, lastly, and lastly it's going to be car 04 on here. Now this is going to pick up just one of these cars values, okay? Now it's going to be a little bit confusing, but even though it was supposed to pick up the second car, but instead of that it's going to pick up the third car. Now it's actually very confusing, but it's like an error or something. Anyway, we're going to have it work on our side, so it's going to be the error is going to be helpful, okay? Now if I hit play, you will see that clearly the first car is having the 172 value, and the second car is having the value of 176, and the third car is having the value of 177. So as I said on that PNG that I created there, the second car, or let's say the Unity, is going to pick up one of those 3 or 4 values as the second. Now Unity is actually mistaking by taking the third position as the second. So what we can do to fix that is make the second position our third position. So now we can just put in another float here, third. Now I think it was not here before, so I'm just going to put it again, okay? Excuse me, I'm very sorry. I have cast a little bit of cold. Now on here, if I put the third on here, then it's going to be accurate, because Unity is picking up the third position as the second position because they goes by the same rule, okay? Now let's have the third. Okay. Now it's going to work as charm because I have already tested few times. That's why I was gone, okay? Now let them raise a bit. Start. Okay, I think you guys have raised enough. Now, if I look at it, the first was the car 03, which is first. It has the value of 133, as you can see here. The fourth car is my car, which is the value of 183 here. And the third car here, which has the 156, is here. And the second car is car 03, which is the value of 133, which has not been defined because Unity cannot yet detect it. Now we're going to make Unity detect it by another series of if-else statement, and we're going to have it coded here now. Okay, now the second position that is not yet detected, we can actually calculate it by saying anything that is not, let's say, fourth, first, or third is second. Now, if I put more for if else statement on here like this, then the code is going to be very hard to understand. So I'm just going to create some regions on here. I'm going to call it um, region hashtag and then region, and then I'm going to call it third, and I'm going to end the region just right on here, just put hashtag end region. Okay, now I can actually make this region poof by now. Now, as I said, anything that is not equal to the cars, the fourth, the first, and the third position is the second. Now, how we're going to say, how we're going to implement it as an if else statement, we can actually check how I did it here, but I'm not going to because I want to do everything from scratch for you guys. So on here, I'll say if car 01's distance is not equal to car not equals to first, and car 01's distance is not equal to okay, not equal to, not and, not if it is not equal to third, and okay, and if it also not equals to fourth, then car 01 is okay, I forgot it again. Yep, then the second value is car 01 distance. Now I'm going to copy this again, just like before, and I'm going to paste it 3 times. I don't know how many times I did this, copying, pasting things. You might be, let's say, bored by the copy pasting that I did in this video by now. Okay, now on here, I'm going to put car2 on here, car2 on here, car2 on here, and car2 on here. Same on here, car3, 3. This video is going to be long. This video is going to be quite long. Well, it's not a funny video, okay? So I cannot make it 10 minutes long. It's a programming video, and it is going to be long. And we're actually going to create half of the system in this longer video. Okay, now this is going to store the second value as well, and this might mark the end of the video because we'll have all the placements on here. Or maybe I'll just visualize the first 1, 2, or just the player's position. Okay, now let's actually hit play now. Now let me raise bet. Okay, make the turn. There you go. They have made the turn. Now on here, let's see if they has really the first, second, and fourth positions. Now on here, you can clearly see the first position, the lowest value is 129, and it is correct. And the last position, 183, it is correct. The second position, 143, correct. The third position, 152, very correct. So we actually have a placement system ready to we actually have a placement system ready now. Now we have to visualize them. We have to say this car is first, this car is second on our UIs and stuff. Now I'm going to create the UI for just the player. Okay, it's Zihan from the future. Now our video is already 29 minutes long, so I decided that I'm going to cut the player position part to the next video. So I hope you're going to stay tuned till I upload the next video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now this code is going to be available on the link on the description, so you can just grab it and use it. And I'll see you on the next video. And on the next video, I'm going to complete this series, and the next video is not going to be as long as this one, so stay tuned, my dudes.